Hey, hi.
Good morning.
Joe will not be joining today, right?
Oh, so we don't have the meeting on.
So I have created this thing. So if I can take the minutes and we can try to cover some of the topics if we have any.
I didn't see a note, Sridhar. Did Joe say he wouldn't make it today?
Yeah, he has put in the mailing list. He has sent a mailing list to the mailing list. He'll not be able to. He's attending the supercomputing. I remember seeing him in this mailing list. Yeah, so this is in this mail, I think, yeah. I have only one topic. I can give the board meeting updates here if we want that. Because there were some of the interesting points from the board. So or we can okay, let's see how many more will join.
No, I think it's it's good to get a report from the board meeting, Sridhar.
Sure. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and start. It's 5 minutes past the time. Is that okay?
Yeah, I would start. Let's do it.
Edit page. So we have Oren. We don't have Venkat. We don't have Joe. Satan is here. Stephen is not here. Oh. You have only two? Okay. Yeah. So I'll just walk through the updates. Then we have Venkat also in this call. So nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll walk through the board updates. So I'll first update and I will update this wiki page later. Is that okay? Because doing in parallel could be a challenging for me. Okay. So the first thing from this is mainly related to the TSC thing. So there was this topic that the discussion that we had in the TSC. Are there anything in our development process that can create a roadblock to the development process thing, where people have to do it offline and then bring it back to the community, right? So that discussion was summarized to the board, and the feedback from the board is there is a indeed when it comes to the example of Intel Ericsson thing, indeed the CI methodologies that are followed in our project is creating a delay kind of a thing. So their suggestion is to strike a balance between the strict CI methodologies and getting the things done. All right, and the highlight, they wanted to first highlight that both Intel and Ericsson are committed to bring back all the work that they do, even they do it offline. It's not as a subset of the work. It's an entire implementation that they will bring it back. But we need to strike a balance between the strict CI process and getting the work done, because there's it kinds of add almost more than a month's kind of a delay to the development process with the CI methodologies that we have in place in OPI project. So the feedback is to, hey, we should TSC should look at it and see if we can make this process easier, so that there is no roadblock to the development that is there. In fact, not just one. The suggestion is it can create a multiple months of additional lead time for the implementation. So it is seen as a roadblock to that development process. So the request to the CI is to, hey, can we see if we can simplify or maybe if we can improve on the CI methodologies. Okay. So if there is any further comments to that, I will make a note and I will update the thing. So I'll open to the TSC members if you have any questions or comments to that. Of course, we haven't completed the discussion in TSC, right? Because we didn't have the representatives from Intel that time. I think we have today. We have Dan also in the call. So if there is any additional comments and anything, I can make note and so that we can update it in the meeting minutes.
So this is coming from Intel, Sridhar? That
Yes.
they would like to see some change to the process?
Correct.
Yeah, I think you that's pretty much it. So yeah, thank you for bringing this up.
What's the recommended change?
Oh, in that meeting, there was no like a specific recommendation on the change, but it was a general feedback. So that because we said that the discussion was not like a complete thing because the Intel representatives were not there in the meeting. So we will be continuing the discussions in the TSC is what we're so the board members didn't change didn't mention a specific recommendation thing. I think that discussion should happen in the TSC going ahead.
That's fine. We just need to know what the recommended change is so we can evaluate it.
Correct. So Dan, do you have any comments or inputs on the specific recommendations that would help the project?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
Do you have any, like, as Mark was asking, do you have any specific recommendation that could help the project in improving the CI processes?
We do. So if you're open to it, we'd be happy to suggest some things. Yeah.
Mark, does that answer your question?
Yeah, we just need to understand what the changes are. I mean,
Okay.
we're working on some to speed up some of the automation right now, but need to understand what these other ones are.
Do you want to talk about it today, Dan, or at a future time?
Yeah, I'd like the EVPN team to go through it. So probably not right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then I will add that into the future and the follow-up line items then.
My understanding, it's not the CI processes, it's the code review processes that Intel and Ericsson doesn't like people for doing code reviews and want to have merge privileges, become maintainers, and merge code immediately. CI/CD process take around 30 seconds. It's just doing ping across the network. So I really would like to deep dive and double click on this issue once Intel is ready to present something.
That's why I asked the question first.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, I think I don't even think this is a TSD issue. I think we can just work this out amongst ourselves in the different work groups. So I think this, like Boris is saying, I think this has a simple, straightforward solution. So.
Okay. Okay, so that was the first one. The second thing from the board is on the ION process, ION engagement. So we gave an update that OPI, that Joe met the ION folks in the membership summit, I think in third week of October, right? And the board, the question is there any specific expectations from ION on what OPI should be doing and how we should be engaging in those kind of things? And Venkat gave a detailed explanation that ION do have quite a few use cases, and the way they work is they collaborate with the other standardization bodies and community forums to get the things done. And they also came to us with the set of things, and we have to decide and see how we would engage going ahead with them, right? So we need to, suggestion is, do we need to kind of have a discussion within the TSC and see how do we want to engage with them, whether TSC would be leading it or any specific working group within the TSC would be leading it, I think. But there is a good option for this to do that, to decide on the next concrete steps. There is a face-to-face meeting of this ION folks on November 28th to 30th in San Francisco. It's like autumn member workshop, they call it. And that would be a good place where OPI can also join that and decide on the next concrete steps and how do we want to engage with them going ahead. So suggestion from the board, especially the board chair, is to TSC should take the lead in evaluating this ION engagement and what is the right place to start with and what is the right direction to go ahead with this ION. And if at all, the TSC expects the board to weigh in any specific aspect. But they are looking for the TSC to provide a recommendation of their evaluation with the engagement with the ION folks. And if at all there's any investment that is required from the OPI for that specific engagement. So this is on the ION side. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, Sridhar, I think we have to take specific action item here because there is a conference fairly soon. Some of us are local, others are not. So I will be meeting Joe this Friday. I will see if because the work because the action item has come to TSC, right? So it's good for us to take it up, and then maybe I will talk to Joe and see if there is a way we can set up some meeting when this ION conference is going on in San Francisco. So, like, maybe some of us are local, but maybe include whoever wants to attend from TSC into a conference call and to decide.
And FI is also looking if they can send somebody to participate in this engagement.
Yeah, exactly. So if I think asking for who all can attend either remotely or locally would be good, and then I will figure out offline how to schedule a meeting for us. And they also have like a outreach or they have a working group that's similar to our outreach on how to collaborate. So that's a team we can meet and then plan what we want to do.
Okay. So I'm not typing anything here. I will go back and update this page soon after the meeting, just to inform others. Okay, so the next thing on the same ION, I think the discussion continued, and there was a question from the board chair. So right now we are all working at the PCI attached hardware kind of thing, right? But ION is looking also going ahead the CXL type hardware thing. So the question is, do we have any in our roadmap, anything that we have architected out to work with the CXL type hardware? Any comments from the TSC members?
You said CXL, Sridhar?
Yeah, CXL, yeah. Yes.
Let's talk in 5 years. There is no.
So they're asking if there's a DPU device that's native CXL.
The question that the board chair asked was in our OPI roadmap, are we already started talking about the CXL type hardware? Because ION is looking at it seems.
That's a DPU vendor question. That's not really an OPI question.
So this interface specific doesn't affect to our work, whether it respect to the APIs or the how it interface with the host, nothing, right?
It affects for sure, but
There might be some low level provisioning at some point, but I mean, I don't know, Boris, what you know about that, but I don't know of any CXL use cases right now or what those APIs might look like.
yeah, this is why I'm saying let's talk in 5 years.
Yeah, it's still emerging. It's not there yet.
We need type 2 devices. Right now, everything is extending memory. But once there are type 2 devices where DPU can provide some kind of cache for the host, that's when things become interesting. But there's nobody asking for those. So
For sure, we have some ideas what we can and should do with CXL enabled GPUs in Dell. I'm not sure that we're ready to kind of talk about this in OPI.
Okay.
I think the point, Sridhar, is there's no devices right now that require this. So seems like OPI has enough things to worry about without worrying about features that don't exist yet.
Okay. Noted. Thank you. So the last part is on the budget. The budget is fully approved from the TSC. From the TSC side, one thing that is thing is on the additional hardware that we want to procure in 2024. So there is an additional 100K is approved for the hardware. I mean that 100K also includes for the Hurricane that we pay for their lab hosting part. So I'm like kind of divided that into 30K and 70K. 30K for them to this kind of engagement process and 70K for additional hardware, which can be into 3 times. So we can go up to in 2024 up to 210K of worth hardware that we can procure in 2024. The new hardware. It's apart from whatever we set aside in the last year. So that gets carried out, of course. So that's not an issue.
How much budget do we have left from 2023? Because I think we need to buy another server.
See, in that case, we set aside like 150K, right, in the last year for 2023. I mean, sorry, not this year. So we 30K. We have spent around 60K. So we have around 40K. So we can happily spend 40K more.
Okay, thank you.
And if you're talking about lab, Dan Daly, yesterday in the lab meeting, your name came up regarding the status of shipping of Intel server with IPU to OPI lab, and nobody knew the answer. So maybe you can catch up or update us where that stands.
Yeah, I can take that action. Go chase that down.
Thanks, Dan.
Sure. Oh, that'll be helpful. Okay. And one more thing. This time OPI is also we have set aside additional budgets for the internships. So we can 2024 we can start some many internships for the students to help the project in developing activities and everything. So we have set aside a good amount of budget for the internship process that we can do in 2024. So TSC can take advantage of that.
Who helps us find the resources? Linux Foundation?
Yes.
Excellent. We have an excellent project to work on.
Oh, great. So we can start right away kind of a thing. I can create a program in the website and we can start finding the resources.
Absolutely, let's do it. Team asked me to prepare a slide on this. So if we have some time today or next time we meet, I can present the project that we launched and they need some help with. So that's an excellent opportunity for interns to help us out.
Fantastic. Great. So we will be in this will be part of LF mentorship program. So there is everything is kind of where we can execute nicely. the budget is also set aside. It's based on the where the students are based from. So it ranges from 3K to 6K for the project budget, the funding that we pay for the students. Okay, and the board is also setting aside this time a separate thing. During the meeting we called it as a member travel, but the suggestion from our finance department is to call it as a board expense. So this is basically to support the members to travel for any of this engagement, for example, to do some demonstration or anything. If some of the members would want to travel, if there is an agreement and if the board approves those things, the members can also travel in such cases. So this is under a big bucket of board expense thing. This is just for all your information to put it in public. So we do have a separate line item this year, I mean next year going ahead in 2024, where the members support is also there. Please note that this is separate from the community travel. So we have a separate line item called the community travel, where we can support some of the community members like students and others who cannot, who does not have a fund to travel to these kind of events and OPI specific events and anything. So we can specifically the community developers and programmers and other things who contribute to the project. They may or may not part of any specific organization, like they can be students. And if to support such kind of cases, we have a separate line item called community travel. So we have an additional thing we call it as a member travel or a board expense. So this is just for information to all the TSC members that we, in 2024, we are setting aside a separate amount for the travel of the members for some specific works.
Yeah, so this is like the case of you're traveling to a show to do an OPI keynote or presentation, but the only reason you're going there is for OPI. Then
Correct.
You can reach out to the board to help with travel expenses.
Correct. So this is just to information to all the members here. Please take a note of it.
I think it's approved on a case-by-case basis, right, Sridhar?
Correct, correct.
Can you announce the process? Like, is it email by email? Is it a form somewhere online that people can?
Yeah, so for example, if any member wants to say, hey, this is the engagement that I want to go and participate, maybe because of the fund that has been completed within the organization, we would want the project to support that kind of travel. You can please bring it to the TSC or bring it to me. I will take it to the board and we'll get the approval and we'll proceed with that. Okay. Okay, so that's all the board meeting updates that I had. If there's a, I will update this minutes, of course, if there is any. Okay, so another thing on the lab side, right? I think Mircha is also here. That the small item that we want to procure it online, those are the only thing that from DigiKey is left over. So Mircha, we tried. I cannot. I'm based out of India, so I cannot do that thing. It's adding additional credit cards and all those issues are there for me to do that. So I'm trying to get the quotation from them, but they are not responding through the quotation process to go with the quotation process. There's like, hey, you just paid through the credit card and then do it. So I'm trying to see if I can get some credit card from the Linux Foundation to use for this engagement. If not, we will see how to go ahead and or try to find another vendor for those items.
Arsha, is it a PDUs?
No. The PDU it's already shipped. It's in transit, if not already arrived.
Okay.
It's the 100 gig cable to interconnect the DPUs to the 100 gig switch. The cables are available in DigiKeys, they're available in they're like, I don't know, $40, $70 each. And yeah, we're buying like 10 cables or something. So it's not like they're bothering to give us a quote. You just go and click buy and they ship it 2-day shipping and you just get them.
Yeah. So maybe if any project member can like buy it through the US credit card or anything, then I can get it reimbursed definitely. Or I'm trying for the Linux Foundation credit card if there's anything. So they said they will get back to me today.
Can we just have May do it with her? Does she have a Linux Foundation credit card?
No, I checked.
Okay, then yeah, let me know. I'll put it on a credit card and you reimburse me. We'll make it happen.
Awesome. Fantastic. I'll get back to you by end of today itself, Paul. Thanks a
Okay.
lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple $100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think around 10K, I think. Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
nothing. Yeah, how many cables are you getting? It's like, even if it's $100 a cable and you get 10 of them,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
$1,000, not 10,000.
Oh, yeah. So let me quickly confirm that part. So OPI approved lab hardware. Oh, that's all, 1,200.
Sure. Just
Okay.
send me the info and I'll make it happen.
Yeah, so these things, these are all done. I think this is they're waiting for the Mellanox card for the thing, the server. I think they don't know the exact time then when it will happen. This one, the Mellanox thing. These two are delivered. This is partially delivered. The other things we are waiting. This is also delivered. This one, if we can close it, maybe today, tomorrow, by next week we can get it. I believe. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so 68K we have spent. We have another 40K easily, Mircha.
Okay, well, I'll add one more server to the list
Please.
in that case. Anybody from NVIDIA to talk about the Bluefield 3 or from Marvel to see if we get a CN106 or what DPU are we putting in OPI?
We have both NVIDIA and Marvel.
For Marvel, it should be CN106. Are you asking how to get
now,
it? Or?
If you want to donate it, that's fine. If we need to buy it, probably now is the time because we have some budget left from 2023. We shouldn't wait till next year.
Correct.
So.
Okay. Yes. So let me take this back to our marketing.
And yeah, same from NVIDIA, the Bluefield 3. If we need to buy it and buy a server for it, I think then now will be the moment. We have this money available, so we don't need to lose them.
Correct.
So what's the question exactly? I'm not sure.
We order
server Bluefield 3. So, but we need availability for Bluefield 3, so we don't have to wait.
So what do you, so you want to buy Bluefield 3 and you can't, or what's the?
I think
that's the idea. We said when we started with the lab, we said to put a Bluefield 2 because Bluefield 3 wasn't released, I believe, at that time, but I believe now it is released.
Yeah.
So, but I do not see, I think either on Dell or HP, a qualified server with Bluefield 3. So if you have a recommendation for one.
Dell is going to qualify. It's on the roadmap. We haven't yet. Yes.
So again, what's the question? Are you looking for a qualified server for Bluefield 3?
That is correct, if you have a recommendation. So we can order that one.
Okay, I'll check this.
And then is NVIDIA going to make a Bluefield 3 available, or do we need to purchase one for using OPI funds?
I have no idea. I can check this as well.
So can I ask our the marketing side to contact somebody like Sridhar or Macha directly?
Yes.
Because okay, thank you.
Okay, and any questions on the budget side?
Marsha, when you buy an extra server that you said, we are going to run a lot of VMs on that. So make sure you buy a server that
I'll message you after the meeting for. We'll talk about the configuration to make sure it's a good one.
Okay, excellent. Thanks.
What does it need, Boris? A lot of cores?
A lot, yeah, a lot of cores, a lot of memory to run a lot of VMs on it because we want to run it for workloads and CI/CD automation.
Do we have a place to store big artifacts and so on? Because once we get the servers, if we have to store the images for the servers, or should we get like an AWS bucket? In terms of storage, off-site storage, do we have a solution yet, or?
Good question.
Don't.
We have money, so if you are buying AWS bucket, we can use that fund in this thing itself.
We're already using GitHub storage for artifacts for CI/CD pipelines. So yeah, if we're buying another one, we just make. I prefer less tools, right? So we just need to decide. So let's take it offline, maybe, Marsha, and discuss the options. Maybe we buy Artifactory and move everything to there from JFrog or something like that. But yeah.
Might be the POC work group is where we can hash out these topics.
Exactly. Thanks, Tim.
Okay, so maybe 40K in next 45 days.
Yes.
Happy shopping. Any other items to discuss?
Well, hopefully he gets a Black Friday discount.
And one more thing.
I want to bring up for the notes, Sridhar, I think we need to cancel the meeting for next week.
Correct. I was about to tell that.
And send out a notice about that. And then I think we should give Boris the floor here for the last 20 minutes, if he needs that much time, to talk about his CLI tool. He's made a PR request. We should go review that after he introduces it here today, and then we'll discuss that in the meeting after Thanksgiving, and maybe take a vote on what we should do there. That's my proposal anyway.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. So next week meeting remains cancelled. Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all. So over to you, Boris. I'll stop sharing.
All right. So I'll post the link in the chat so people can view it offline as well while I'm talking. So basically, I was trying to find a little bit more focus in OPI to actually deliver some good code that is useful for customers. So we talked with several customers. We looked at the existing similar projects. So this is my suggestion for the next kind of big project that I think OPI should focus on. So I'll just quickly review the existing similar project, but this is also backed up by some customer data that we talked with. So a lot of people here are very familiar with a Linux kernel NVMe CLI tool. Recently, it was split into two repositories, the library itself, libnvme, and NVMe CLI tool that uses that library. So basically, that provides a vendor agnostic with plugin additions. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second, tool to talk to different NVMe devices. So basically, a library and the command line tool. And a lot of vendors today produce NVMe devices, whether it's a real NVMe devices or NVMe Fabric, and everybody needs a tool, and it's very, very popular in the storage world. So you can look at different repositories, you can look at the man page, but basically, customer, either it comes pre-installed in the distribution or you install it. All the distributions supported today, and you can issue commands to NVMe devices like NVMe reset, NVMe format, NVMe connect for remote, and stuff like that. It also supports vendor plugins. So in addition to the common commands, and again, this is just small example, we have vendor plugins. So you can do NVMe Intel and then temperature statistics, for example, or NV Micron and NAND statistics, or Western Digital and then capabilities. And this will have, the common tools and the vendor-specific plugins as well. So I wanted to create a very similar tool, or I still want, this is a proposal to create a similar tool in OPI. Basically, a library and a CLI. So people who has their own orchestration system, they have their own code, can link, include, import library. And people that just want to play with DPUs, they have the CLI. So this is a proposal. Basically, I created 2 projects. One Go DPU written in Go language, because very popular nowadays. A lot of Kubernetes work is in Go, OpenTelemetry and stuff like that. And one in Python, PyDPU. So it's also a library and a CLI. So one in Go, one in Python. So Sridhar, for your previous comment with internship, those are the projects that I think the most suitable for interns to deep dive on. So we already have quite a lot of code here, and the proposal is to take it to the next level, really enhance it, and make contributions for all the vendors in a similar way that NVMe CLI is working today. So again, 2 repositories, Go DPU, PyDPU under OPI. We already released them on Docker Hub, so it's also Docker images for Go DPU, PyDPU. We released them on PyPy, so people can do pip install, people who work with Python. For Go, you don't need to do that because you can just do Go install from the GitHub directly. And we also managed releases, backlog, and projects on the GitHub itself. So what do we actually need? The need is to manage those repos as any other open source project that we see, right? Whether it's, CNIs, CSIs, Kubernetes, OpenTelemetry, any open source project that you can see today in the industry. So we want the same experience here. So we want to manage features, we want to manage backlogs, we want to manage regular releases on those repositories, we want to manage bugs, triage issues, we want to facilitate contributions and code reviews by maintainers. We want to manage, common commands and vendor-specific plugins. If vendor comes in and it has something that other vendors don't have, he has a place to put it, all right? So I'll show you a couple of examples what we did already today. And from OPI, we need, obviously, socializing, documentation. Maybe I would add another one is integrating that with all major distributions like Canonical, Red Hat, SUSE, Debian, and others, right? So this is what I would like this project to kind of look like. So what it does today, so just to give you an example, you can run it as a simple command line tool. Here I just gave an example in Docker, but doesn't have to be. So basically you have your CLI tool, let's say Go DPU, PyDPU, or just DPU, and it has all the different commands. So I already split it into several different kind of categories. So we have several POCs that are going on in OPI. So we have EVPN functionality, we have inventory, we have IPsec, and we have storage. So just to give you an example, for EVPN, so we created all those commands. So you can create a bridge port, you create a logical bridge, SVI, VRF, you can delete all of those. So basically interacting with the DPUs in a vendor agnostic way once they have this EVPN bridge here. So this is just example, but as you can see here, I want to do the full management of DPUs using this tool. Reset DPU, update firmware of DPUs. A lot of DPU vendors provide Redfish interface, so this can be just a very simple tool of utilizing Redfish commands in order to talk to the DPUs. I saw that NVIDIA, for example, using OpenBMC, and they publish on the website OpenBMC tool, so we can import it or incorporate it in this tool. But basically, my big idea, and I think, in my humble opinion, the most important thing that OPI can produce here is the common tooling, the libraries, and the CLI tool that are vendor agnostic and people can use across all the different DPU vendors. We can test it. Now that we have the lab, we can test that it still works with all the DPU vendors, check backward compatibility. We can have all the DPU companies contribute to those repositories for sure. We welcome all the contributions here. And basically, we build a community to help our customers. Because if you look at all the data center administrators, most of the time, before they integrate things in their own orchestration, they just like to play with things. And they are missing this big piece of CLI that you can reset DPU, upgrade it, do something. And today, in the nowadays world, before OPI, what they have to do is they have to go into each and every individual vendor. Some just present, this is Redfish interface, use it as you wish. This is something else, use it. This is a custom tool, use it. So I want to do is I want to create a common tool that is distributed in all the distributions. People can just simply install it and just go and communicate with DPUs. And the important part is not just the CLI, but also the library. We want to create ecosystem. We want to do Ansibles, for example, for DPUs. We want to create CLIs. We want to do that. I'm pretty sure a lot of DPU companies are already thinking in that direction, maybe. So the idea here is maybe to commonize, utilize, organize together to produce something that is really good. And we have really good examples in the industry that is very big success in doing so. So I'll pause for any questions because this is what I have and people can comment freely. People like it, hate it.
So this is working across like network or over the host PCI?
Across network, yes.
So you don't need, you are also planning for something across the PCI from the host or no?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
We can scope like the priorities and stuff, and we can discuss it. For now, it's planned to be over network, but if PCI Express for you is more important, yeah, for sure, why not?
So how does the CLI know about the devices that it can talk to?
Yeah, it gets IP address and talks to it. Yeah. As the first parameter that you give IP address of the device, and then you can talk to it. The IP address can be either management IP, like for example with NVIDIA, Bluefield, they have a ARM cores IP address and they have BMC IP address. So you can give either one depending on what functionality you need, or you can automatically detect one by giving the other. And then you can send either Redfish commands to manage the DPUs through the OpenBMC, like reboots, firmware updates, all of that. Or you can do the storage or network functionality. That is a little bit more opinionated, in my opinion, because again, NVIDIA is doing Cumulus Linux for networking, NVMe Snap for storage. Oren here knows a lot about that. So we can utilize the SPDK APIs and the OPI SPDK bridge that we build. So a lot of opinions here. So we are really open to suggestion, but I think, first of all, I would like to agree on the vision that people think this is valuable or not, to have one tool that everybody contributes to and can talk across all the different DPU vendors. Even 10 commands, I will be really happy about.
I think this is a great proposal because it's an ecosystem tool. It's vendor agnostic. It's enabling people to kick the tires and do early work before they automate stuff. It helps them debug their automation if it's broke, because they can do things step by step and see where it's failing. I really like doing the provisioning component of this. I see you're kind of gone beyond that for us to things like EVPN and storage commands, but
yeah, we had to do EVPN storage because we use that in automation CI/CD pipelines today. So we had to do it, even if it's not the main focus and direction. I do like your suggestion with go with lifecycle first. And again, if we can commonize on Redfish, for example, that would be a great addition. So good wrapper for Redfish commands. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, is a device there? Is it healthy and happy? And can I provision it all through the CLI tool? Very useful.
And we can then, once we agree on that is a strategic direction and everybody kind of feel comfortable and sees value in this, we can then meet a more, smaller scope with technical people and decide what is in scope, what is out of scope, define roadmap, see what contributions we can get from different companies. We see Marvell, we see NVIDIA, we see Intel. A lot of people here can contribute, Red Hat. So we can see how to move it forward. We can get interns from Linux Foundation to work on this as well. And again, I will be extremely happy if we have 5 common commands and then vendor plugins that each vendor can contribute privately that other vendors don't have.
Yeah, and it feels like this effort, while small, maybe initially, will grow over time. And if we have to support a package and releases, it's going to need its own working group at a minimum. So that's,
Oren, what do you think? I really want to hear like your initial thoughts. Pretty sure NVIDIA will working on something similar, or
I don't know if the teams are working on something similar. I can check, but that looks great. I mean, no objection. Looks really good.
No, I just feel that talking to the customer, that was my biggest thing, that we're building a lot of things that customers don't need. So when I went and talked to around 100 customers by Dell, number one concern was that how can I play with DPUs from the Linux command line?
Yeah, makes a lot of.
So next steps, again, I don't like to talk in void. So next steps for me is if we can identify one person that can jump on the call, we can all schedule a call, jump on a call from each company that is, hands-on, Oren, like, you can suggest somebody from NVIDIA and Satananda from Marvell and others, and Dan Daly from Intel. So everybody who wants to participate, just let's jump on a call. Let's think if we all agree this is strategically is good, and let's just define a scope, maybe see what each company can bring to the table. If not, we'll see how we can co-develop it from scratch. There is kind of a lot of code already there, but I really want to take it to the next level. I want to have, good examples, demos in our lab and in our all labs individually to show how we can work with introduce Redfish inside. Maybe decide to ditch one because maybe PyDP and GoDP is too much. Maybe we need to focus on only one. I don't know. So all open at this point for me. Dan, your thoughts from Intel, Satananda from Marvell?
Oh yeah, this is great. Yeah, I might send a couple people from all the different projects, but yeah, we want this like yesterday. This is great.
Excellent.
Yeah, for life cycle, pretty much needed. Understood. For storage networking, will it be yet another way or among other ways? I don't know. The life cycle. Agree.
Yeah, I'm really open. If we want to start with life cycle, again, anything that we can do, I think that can help our customers from life cycle starting, that's perfect. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I can also ask our engineers to participate whenever the call is scheduled.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Boris. Thank you very much. Any additional things?
So are you gonna stand at that meeting and send out invites for us?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Okay. If nothing else, then we'll give back your 9 minutes. See you all in 2 weeks' time then. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Hey, Sridhar.
Hey, hi, Paul.
Do you want to just send me whatever website I need to go to and the part numbers, and I'll.
Yes, I will do that. Give me an hour or so time. I'll just check again and then I'll get back to you quickly.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Paul.
You bet.
Appreciate it.